messenger. And he was special because he confirmed all that was sent before by all the other messengers. And he gave the final message. He brought the Holy Quran. Now all the messengers had one thing in common. They all called to the oneness of Allah. They told the people, don't worship anyone, anything, any physical object besides Allah. And there were many, many, many prophets sent over time. But in the Quran, there are 25 prophets that are specially mentioned. Do you know the names of all the 25 prophets?
I know some of them.
Well, there's a song that we can learn together that teaches us the names of all the 25 prophets. May peace and blessings be upon them. But first, let's find my songbook. Searching, searching, where do we find it? Looking, looking, high and low. Searching, searching, where do we find it? Zayd's book of rhymes, where did it go? Searching, searching, where do we find it? Looking, looking, high and low. Searching, searching, where do we find it? Zayd's book of rhymes, where did it go?
Here it is, Brother Zayn.
Oh, Fatima, thank you for finding it for me. Now, the song I was telling you about is the song that mentions the names of the 25 prophets that are mentioned in the Quran. As-salatu ala al-nabi was-salamu ala al-rasul wal-anbiya il-mursalin kulluhum mukramun. Blessings be upon Nabi, peace be upon the messengers, all the prophets who were sent, all of them were honored. Adam, Idris, Nuh, Saleh, Ibrahim, Lut, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, Yusuf, Ayyub, Shu'aib, Musa, Harun, Dhul Kifli, Dawud, Sulaiman, Ilyas, Al-Yas'a, Yunus, Zakaria, Yahya, Isa, والآخر الخاتم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى. الصلاة على النبي والسلام على الرسول والأنبياء المرسلين كلهم مكرمون. Blessings be upon Nabi, peace be upon the messenger, all the prophets who were sent, all of them were honored. Adam, Idris, Nuh, Saleh, Ibrahim, Lut, Ismail, Ishaq, Yaqub, Yusuf, Ayyub, Shu'aib, Musa, Harun, Dhul Kifli, Dawud, Sulaiman, Ilyas, Al-Yas'a, Yunus, Zakaria, Yahya, Isa, والآخر الخاتم الأنبياء محمد المصطفى. الصلاة على النبي والسلام على الرسول والأنبياء المرسلين كلهم مكرمون. Blessings be upon Nabi, peace be upon the messenger, all the prophets who were sent, all of them were honored. Alhamdulillah, now hopefully you can remember more of the names of all the prophets that were sent to guide mankind.
Talking about boats, could you please tell us the story of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam?
But let me not get ahead of myself. I think I might just have a book that will help us learn more about the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Let me see. Here it is. The story of Nuh alayhi salam. Okay. Well, it all started many, 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 many years ago when people turned away from Allah and began worshipping other things like idols or their past relatives. They began to pray to other things besides Allah. And obviously at the time, Allah wanted them guided. So He sent a messenger, Nuh alayhi salam. And he was a patient man, filled with intelligence and wisdom. And he tried convincing the people to stay away from the idols and all the things that were created by man And he pleaded with his people, please turn to Allah, the one God who created all of these things. Because he knew that when they died, and if they had associated partners with Allah, Allah would say, where are your partners now? Allah will hold them accountable. So he carried on giving this message about the oneness of Allah, but nobody listened. And you know, for 950 years, Nuh alayhi salam preached the same message about Allah. Can you imagine that? 950 years?
No.
It's a long, long time. And then eventually, the chiefs of the community were so angry, they threatened to kill Nuh alayhi salam. And then Nuh alayhi salam said, oh Allah, I cannot do any more. I have tried my best. So Allah instructed Nuh alayhi salam to build a boat, an ark, because Allah was going to send a terrible punishment down on the people who have strayed from Him. So Nuh alayhi salam started building a boat. And the people started laughing at him. The disbelievers said, what is wrong with this madman? Why is he building a boat? But Nuh alayhi salam was patient. And he knew that he had to heed Allah's call. And that reminds me of another song that we can do together. Come on, let's sing it together. The animals went in 2 by 2, it's true, it's true. The animals went in 2 by 2, it's true, it's true. The animals went in 2 by 2, the insects, birds and reptiles too, and they all went into the ark for to get out of the rain. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. The animals went in 2 by 2, it's true, it's true. The animals went in 2 by 2 with Nuh. The animals went in 2 by 2, some with 4 legs, some with 2, but they all went into the ark for to get out of the rain. Boom, 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 boom. The animals went in 2 by 2, it's true, it's true. The animals went in 2 by 2, it's true, it's true. The animals went in 2 by 2, they knew exactly what to do, and they all went into the ark for to get out of the rain. Boom, 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 boom. Nuh alayhi salam felt really afraid, and he tried to get as many people onto the ark as possible. But do you know that even his own family disobeyed him, and they disobeyed Allah, and they said, you are a crazy man, we cannot follow you. There are no rains coming, there's no floods coming. And he beckoned to them, please join me on the ark, save yourself. And you know, the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam's son as well disbelieved. And he said, I will go to the highest mountain, and the floods, even if it does come, will not affect me. And the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam begged his son, please join me on the ark. But he would not listen. And so the rains came, and the waters began to rise. And the people on the ark were secure, alhamdulillah, with the blessings of Allah. But the people who were stayed behind and disbelieved, they fled to the mountains, and the water kept rising and rising and rising, until the people who were left behind had no chance at all. And so it's a lesson to all of us, that if someone comes with the truth, with the message of the oneness of Allah, we should listen and always follow his way. And what better example do we have than the message of the final messenger, Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Wow, what a wonderful story, so much to learn.
Oh, absolutely, Fatima. We can learn so much from the lives of the prophets. May Allah be pleased with all of them.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Brother Dawood.
How are my fabulously fortunate young library pals today?
Alhamdulillah.
Thanks, mate. Everybody's all right?
Alhamdulillah, we were just talking about the story of Nuh alayhi salam.
Oh, Prophet Nuh.
What a wonderful story.
You know what's fascinating about Nuh alayhi salam and his mode of water transportation? There's another prophet mentioned in the Quran who also had a pretty interesting form of water transportation.
Who is that?
Prophet Musa alayhi salam.
What type of boat did he travel in?
Well, it was a very interesting boat, actually. You see, what happened? At the time that Musa alayhi salam was born in Egypt, there was a very, very mean ruler called the Pharaoh. Now, Pharaoh had a lot of magicians and wizards in his court, and he asked them to always give him advice and tell him how he should run his kingdom. Well, one day, his magicians told him that from among the Israelites would come someone who would end the Pharaoh's rule. Well, when Pharaoh heard this, he was very upset. So he made an order that all of the baby boys should be killed. Well, it so happened that Musa alayhi salam was just a teeny tiny baby at that time, and his mother became very afraid because she obviously didn't want her son to be killed. So she had a very interesting little boat, a basket. She was so afraid that something would happen to her son. She put her faith in Allah, and she put baby Musa into the basket and set it adrift in the Nile River. She trusted that Allah would take care of Musa alayhi salam and keep him from being harmed. So can you imagine what an interesting little boat that must have been for baby Musa to be floating down the Nile River in a basket?
That's rather mean, killing all the baby boys.
Oh, it was horrible. But you know, there was a twist of events, because it so happened that the Pharaoh's wife was down by the river, and she saw the basket floating towards her. When she asked her servants to fetch the basket out of the water, and they found there was this beautiful little baby inside, she decided she wanted to keep this baby for her own. No one knew where it came from, and Pharaoh decided they wouldn't kill that particular baby boy. But Musa alayhi salam's older sister was nearby, and she saw the Pharaoh's wife take the baby out of the water. When the Pharaoh's wife tried to feed the baby, it wouldn't eat anything. And so Musa's own sister suggested to the Pharaoh's wife that she knew someone who might be able to help. And wouldn't you know it, but baby Musa alayhi salam was taken to his own mother, who fed him and nursed him. So here was Musa's mother, who had set her baby adrift in the water with true faith that Allah would protect baby Musa alayhi salam, only to find that her baby was brought back to her so she could always know where he was safe and sound.
What happened thereafter?
Oh, the story is very wonderful. Musa alayhi salam went through a lot in his life. He was raised in the Pharaoh's palace, but he always had a strong sense of justice in his heart and a strong belief in Allah. In fact, that was part of the reason why he had to flee and leave Egypt. Because one day, one of the Pharaoh's soldiers got in a fight with someone from the tribe of the Israelites. Well, this fight was happening, and Musa alayhi salam naturally wanted to stop the fighting. So he stepped in between to defend the Israelite. By accident, the soldier of Pharaoh was killed. Here was Musa alayhi salam now realizing that if he were to be caught, he could be in serious trouble. So he fled Egypt and left and went out into the desert, and he traveled far to where the Arab people were. And he stayed there for many, many, many years. In fact, he even met his wife and was married and worked for so long. And then, one day, Musa alayhi salam was in the mountains, and he saw fire. And he went towards the fire to find out what it was. And it's there that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided him and gave him his prophethood and informed him that he needed to go back to Egypt and demand the Pharaoh to release the Israelites from bondage and slavery. Well, long story short, Musa alayhi salam did return to Egypt, and he confronted the Pharaoh with his brother Harun alayhi salam, and eventually they did leave Egypt with all of the Israelites. But the Pharaoh was a proud, proud man, and he didn't want them to escape. So he and his soldiers followed close behind in pursuit. Musa alayhi salam was here with all of these Israelites, depending upon him to guide them and lead them through the desert and away from Pharaoh and his army. And they came to the edge of the Red Sea. What could they do? Where could they go? And they didn't have a means of transportation. They had no boat. They had no raft. Musa alayhi salam prayed to Allah for help. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided Musa alayhi salam to take his rod or his walking stick and strike the water of the Red Sea. Well, the waves began to subside and the water set back until it was so shallow that Musa alayhi salam and his brother Harun alayhi salam and all of the children of Israel were able to cross through the Red Sea. While they were making their way through, the army was in close pursuit. And by the time Musa alayhi salam and all of the children of Israel had reached safely to the other side, the waters returned. And just as the Pharaoh and all of his soldiers came into the place where the water had once been low, they were all flooded. And Musa alayhi salam and all of the children of Israel were safe from their harm.
Allah is really kind to have saved all those people, and He is really powerful.